All right, let me welcome you back to day 11. We're going to finish up our distribution agents for the career air program. First thing I'm going to do is knock out the storyline mission because they do not stack. So once you get one, get it done as quickly as possible before getting other missions. That way you're not burning through extra missions just to get new ones. Like I said before, I should be doing these distribution missions at level 1 in an explorer ship. For this one, I thought it was going to be a combat mission, but it's just a transportation mission for the storyline. So I'm just doing it in my Corsair because that's what I had on me at the time. And once we get these small sealed cargo containers dropped off, we'll continue on our way doing the distribution missions today. Should be able to get that knocked out pretty quickly. That storyline mission actually gives you an implant. I would say initially hold off on plugging it in until you complete the air missions, unless you've got the skills to have jump clones. Part of the exploration mission career program is to explore in low security and null space, or even wormhole space. Good chance you'll get shot, you'll get potted, and you'll end up losing those implants. So when I do that later, I just do it in an empty clone and cruise around to get those career mission points. Now it looks like we got another one of those 5-part missions. The Heiress really isn't that bad. It is mostly transport. I think one of the missions is a combat mission, but we should be able to pretty much do it all in our Corsair. If I have to switch to my cargo ship, I will. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get this cargo dropped off, accept, and then we'll head on out, go back to the same agent. And I want to take a minute to thank you guys for watching this far. I know many of you out there are probably veteran players in all of this, but watching it helps, hopefully this broadcasts out to potentially new players and they see this and go, well, maybe I'll give you a try. So like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to continue to work on putting out more and more guides. I'm going to continue with this little storyline, this little adventure, but then I'm going to shift over to a more guide-oriented format for all of this. I think it'd be a little better to actually do a walkthrough instead of a just kind of a play-by-play. But I got another storyline mission, so we'll go ahead and get this knocked out real quick. I don't think it's definitely not going to apply to our distribution missions, but since he's a security agent, I'm pretty sure it will qualify for getting one of our storyline missions done. So I'll have to look at that later when it comes up. Now, unfortunately, with a lot of these storyline missions, you will actually end up fighting an opposing faction to whoever you're getting the mission from, which can adversely affect your standings with that faction. So you always want to be careful with some of these, especially if you're trying to maintain a balance of faction standings with all the 4 major factions. You can always rerun the Sisters of Epic Eve arc to raise a faction back up if you let it drop too low. I believe that allows you to redo that epic arc every 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, which isn't bad. In 3 months you can every 3 months you can undo a fair amount of damage, and then as long as you're positive faction standing, you can always go run missions for another one. But we go ahead and warp to this spot. Fastest way to lock those targets is hold your control button if that's your default setting, and just click on them, locks them all up. And then the default setting for your weapons, mine happens to be on the F1 slot. You just hit F1 as you go along and just orbit. Now, a lot of times when you're fighting opposing factions, their cargo holds hold these Navy insignias. These insignias can be traded in for reputation on down the line. It's really weird. I'd recommend looking it up on Eve University, but you have to warp to a certain system, and then there's like a naval yard that you fly out to, and certain certain reps, agents have different requirements for how many of these insignias you can turn in, and you fly out to their ship, start the conversation, and then turn them in. It's a little confusing, but I think I'll do a video on it one day. Alright, so we got the storyline mission knocked out. Now I need to go back and find my Tekken Asimo agent that I've been working with and get back to his destination. And I want to keep my security status in high sec for now, because I really don't want to go into low sec. Not that you necessarily would for a level 1 mission. I'm looking for the closest available, so we'll go ahead and set the destination here. Now, once again, sometimes you get mining missions. Not a huge deal if your venture's nearby. In a pinch, well, you couldn't use a Corvette because the volume is going to be too high. So I'll have to run over and get my venture here and go ahead and mine. Although I could fit a mining laser onto my Corsair. I've got the storage space for it. So that's always an option. And that's exactly what I'm going to go do. We're going to quickly go back to my hangar where I have my venture. We'll go ahead and board it. I'm going to empty my cargo hold. Not that it really matters, I still have plenty of space. And then we'll go ahead and set our destination and head out to the dead space. Unfortunately, it's 4 jumps away, so we'll do some editing magic and get there right now. Alrighty, now that we're in the right system, we're going to go ahead and warp to our dead space mining area. I gotta admit, the Venture is a pretty sweet looking frigate. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn on our mining, find the asteroid that we need, move to it as quickly as we can. As soon as we get the chance to lock it up, we'll lock it up. Then we'll have to turn on our mining lasers. And then we just got to keep an eye out for rats, and here's some rats. So we'll get our drones out in space. Once the drones are out, they should start attacking. Keep an eye on your drone damage, the little white bars next to the drone names. If they start taking damage, bring them back in. Doesn't take long for these guys to pop some of these drones. But this mission's pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take long at all. These are really easy pirates to kill. It will take a couple cycles to mine that rock completely, and I made the mistake of moving away, so I lost my targeting on it. So now I need to get back toward it. You gotta be careful with that. And since I'm already out in space, I'm gonna go ahead and loot these guys. Surprisingly, they're actually giving me some halfway decent loot. Those missiles go for a good price. We'll go up to this next one here. Check out, see what the loot has to offer here. Just metal scraps. That was junk. Now luckily these should be the only pirates for the rest of the operation on the mission here. Once we get the rock mined out, we should be good to... Oh, I already did get it all. I didn't even notice. So we got our 20 poly gypsum. Not really worth anything other than for the mission, so you should be fine. We'll dock up. It looks like our next objective in the Eris mission is a pretty simple one. Doesn't pay a lot, but all you gotta do is take this Eris from one station to the next. Doesn't take very little cargo space, so we're just gonna go ahead and run this in our adventure and be done with it. It's only a jump away, so we can move pretty quick. So we'll get this mission turned in, and there's a distribution mission here. I really wasn't paying that much attention. Unfortunately, it had 4 crates to deliver. I accepted the mission, but I didn't look at the requirements for it, and the Venture does not have enough cargo space to carry that. So I am going to have to go get another ship real quick and come back to complete this mission. Well, I got my Corsair. It has plenty of cargo space, so I went ahead and put that in the cargo. We'll go ahead and set the destination, and it only looks like it's a jump away, so we'll go ahead and jump to the next system, and then we'll dock up, complete this mission, and then we'll get back on track finishing that Eris mission. You know, it's making these little mistakes that will add time to finishing these missions in a timely fashion. But, you know, I'm still getting credit toward it. So we're 15 of 20 of our way done distribution missions. Go ahead and talk to that agent mission real quick. And we are done. So apparently for some reason I decided to play with the color filters on my recording software. I have no idea why, but now we're back to color. We'll go ahead and get warped to our next station and get the next mission going. Now at this point we've actually developed enough standing where we can actually do a level 2 distribution mission, which will count toward our overall count for missions. Nice part is it pays a little more. You do need a little more cargo space, but it should still be manageable in your exploration ship or even the Corsair in this part. So we'll go ahead and load up, head to the next station, and accept that. For some reason I'm looking for a salvager. I wonder why. Oh, I know. That's for our upcoming air missions. Well, I had to go get my cargo ship real quick, and to have the storage space to move these construction blocks. Go ahead and fly those to where they need to be. And we're almost done with our distribution missions. This will be 19. We'll get one more done. Oh, look, there's a level 1 mission here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Go ahead and move those into our inventory. We'll knock this out, and this will end our objectives for the career program for the distribution agents. Well, folks, that wraps up day number 11 of the Amarr adventures. We're going to go ahead and get this stuff locked in, turned in, and we will call it a day. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. Every subscription means Boomer gets new goodies. He's been a little reluctant on his cow bones lately, so we'll have to get him a new cow bone. Alright guys, thanks, and have a good night, good day, or good morning, whenever you're watching this. Bye-bye.